to another week with author E. Jamie. So, as you may have seen in the beginning of this video, I went to the Fan Expo this past week, and I enjoyed it. I got a few things that I'm going to show you in a second, but things that are not necessarily what you would typically get in a fan expo. But if you've been here on my channel for any length of time, you will not be surprised that this is what I got. To be fair, I was looking for a Jamie Fraser Funko Pop, but they didn't have his. So, yeah. But it was a little insane in there. It was very cool seeing all the costumes and all that stuff, and they had we had initially gone to get a photo op with Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things, but sadly she had to cancel. So we got the money back for the photo op and the panel and all that, but they don't refund the admission to the Fan Expo. So we thought, why not just go anywhere? Anyway, and we did, and it was nice. It wasn't sort of as insane as the first time ever that I'd gone with my sis, which was a couple of years ago. We were going to see Graham McTavish, who played Dougal on Outlander. But there was some, like, I think what added to the insanity of that experience was that the hours of when he was appearing kept changing, and the attendants there weren't very much help into like who knew what was going to happen, where the event was exactly. And it was sort of like really, really hard to navigate because we were looking for some specific thing that we couldn't seem to find. So maybe that's what made that experience more chaotic and sort of insane than this past week, because I felt like it wasn't as insane. And we got to see a few people. We didn't have like panels or anything for them, or like photo ops or anything for them, but we knew that some guy from The Office was there that my sister recognized. That I don't watch the show, so I don't know. I know Jim and Pam, and of course Steve Carell. But that's about all I know about the show. But I should eventually watch it because I've seen like little bits here and there, and it seems like a show that I would enjoy. So it's on the list, but I haven't seen it yet. So there was a guy there from there. They had a Scream autograph signing there with with Nev Campbell, Matthew Illard, Skeet Ulrich. I can't remember who else from Scream was there, but I know those big three were there, and we saw them sort of sitting there doing like the autograph thing sort of as we were walking around, as people were lined up to get their autographs. And just like the booths were really cool, the stuff that they had, like they had weapons from shows and all this. My niece, God bless her, was looking for a crossbow because she wants to be Daryl for Halloween from The Walking Dead. But sadly, they did not have one. Again, they had like all different other kinds of weapons and such, but they didn't have that. And they had cool posters. They had different like movie stuff and stuff from like shows that I don't know about. They had a lot of like manga stuff. and I'm just sort of dipping my toe into that just a little bit. So I didn't really get anything from there, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the experience more this time than I did the first time. Um, because maybe it was just as crowded and stuff as it was the first time, but it didn't feel as sort of chaotic. You There was like crazy crowds, but you were able to sort of just take your time and look around and that kind of stuff. Um, so what I actually got was, are we surprised? Are we surprised that I got books? I just got two books. One, they had this like rack of sort of more like popular books, and Dean Koontz Heart of Darkness. Um, and it's, again, like I said, I'm trying to make my way uh, through Dean Koontz's sort of backlist. I want to read everything, and I hadn't heard of this one, but it sounded really, really good, so I decided yes. And there was I'm not sure, one or two authors. I know there was one, at least, author there who was sitting there like with her books for like a book sort of signing thing. And I sort of, the idea of that as an author myself terrifies the out of me. I haven't done one yet because I'm so, like, I can't even imagine like sitting there and just like people either like not wanting to come to like check out your books, or like just like walking by and just like ignoring you, or like just sitting there and like waiting for somebody to come and want to check out one of your books. So I always have like a soft spot in my heart whenever I see an author doing that, that I have to go. I have to go and support them somehow. Because I just cannot imagine sort of that feeling of, or rather, I can imagine that feeling. And it just scares the Jesus H. Roosevelt Christ out of me. So there was Nancy Kilpatrick, and she was the author who was sitting there. And I just had to go and pick up one of her books. This is book one in a paranormal vampire romance series, and it's called Revenge of the Vampire King. And I'm very much looking for like, and the plot of it seems quite good. I will go into it again when I do my monthly book haul, whenever we get to this pile that this is going to be on. Um, so yeah. Um, but yeah, I had a good time. I liked it. I liked going. And it was my first time ever on a GO train in my all the years that I have lived in this city. I'd never been on a GO train before. I'd been on a GO bus, but never the actual GO train. Um, so that was an interesting sort of experience. Um, so that's what I got from the Fan Expo. I got books. Um, and yeah, and I was looking at, I also wanted to check out if I was going to get a phone case thing. I would have gotten like an Outlander one, but none of them were for my phone size. So that unfortunately didn't work either. Um, so today I went on, oh, well, no, let me show you some other things first. I have this book, which is Noel Barber's A Woman of Cairo. And I had ordered this book about a month ago. And it just, recently came. Um, this is one of my sort of books that sort of, what's the word? Formulated? Books that sort of created me and my reading sort of journey. Um, I remember gotten this from the library. I don't remember finishing it, but I remember loving it so much that but then it always like sort of stayed like in the back of my mind, but like I'd completely forgotten about it. And then I don't know why, but it came to the forefront, excuse me, of my mind again. And I thought, oh, maybe I can order it now. Um, because I remember loving it and definitely wanting to have my own copy. So it was shockingly hard to find, but I finally tracked down a copy. We won't talk about what I paid for it, but I'm so glad that I have this copy. She's a big boy. She's a big girl. She's a big girl. But I am so excited to eventually get to read the entirety of this book. Yeah. So again, I will tell you what it's about when we do our book haul thing, and then I'll get these two. So I think I mentioned when I went to the college in Spadina library that between about there, between about like Bathurst to Ossington or so, there are about 4 bookstores. 4. Um, there's Barber, there's Sellers and Newell, there's this one called Flying Books, and I know I'm forgetting one. I know I'm forgetting one. But there are roughly 4 bookstores in a 2, I'm not sure if it's 2 blocks or like 2 major streets span. So if you're a book lover and you live in Toronto, girl or dude, go on college between Bathurst and Ossington. Like, yowza. So I mentioned that I went to Balfour in my last vlog. This time I went to check out the Sellers in Newell. I like Balfour better, just in terms of navigation. Sellers in Newell there's 2 levels to it, but it's so sort of like packed, and there's just books sort of like piled sort of everywhere that it's kind of hard to actually look through them. And I actually went on a day that it was raining, so maybe that's what made it more difficult. Maybe I'll go on a day when it's not raining. But because they usually have sale bins outside in front of the store. But because it was raining, I guess all the sale bins were brought in. So I think that's what hampered sort of getting around. But even so, I think selection wise, like they had like good like classics and like stuff like that, but I think I still like Balfour though. I'm gonna give Sellers sort of another try on a day that it's not raining and I can like actually like look through the sort of bargain bins and such, and maybe like have like more room to sort of look inside. But yeah, that I like Balfour better so far. But at Sellers and Newell, I got Little Birds, Erotica by Anais Nin. And I know of like how um, um, well known she is for her erotica. So I always wanted to check out her stuff. But all I had been able to find of hers was the like her journals and stuff. And I want to get those. I already got, I think, one or two of those. But her actual like fiction, I had not been able to find that easily. So found this one. I'm very excited, and I will let you know sort of. Oh, and it made me laugh that there's no back blurb. There's no blurb, like at all. Like at all. There's nothing. Except for the jacket design, and that it's printed in the USA. When was this? This one was published. I think this is definitely a reprinting. This was published by the trustee of her estate. So yeah, so forward to that. And I got The Last Temptation. And when I looked at it, I was like, is this The Last Temptation of Christ? Like, from like the movie? Yeah, it is. It doesn't say The Last Temptation of Christ, but it's the book that the movie was based on. Now, I had no idea that it was based on the book. Or if I'd known, I'd forgotten it. So I'm very, very interested in reading this, definitely. And it says, yeah, because when I saw Now Major Film, Martin Scorsese, yep. Willem Dafoe, who was amazing. Amazing. I love that movie. I know that it's a teensy bit controversial. Little bit. But I loved that movie. I loved the humanity that Jesus was given, and the sort of extreme ways in that parts of him, those parts of him were explored. This is Martin Scorsese. He don't do shit halfway. He do not. So, yeah. Absolutely love the movie. Cannot wait to read the book. Oh, and as I was buying it, the dude, the guy at the bookstore, told me that Pontius Pilate was played by David Bowie. I don't remember that. Now, there is a lot that I don't remember about the movie. I remember loving it. But David Bowie, really? I don't remember that. So yeah, definitely due for a rewatch. And this one I got at a sale at one of the libraries that I went to. The library that I went to that day, which I will show you what I got in a second. I got this in a reversed order. But The Home for Unwanted Girls by Joanna Goodman. Yeah, so definitely looking forward to that. I got that from the sale rack at the College and Shaw Library. Okay, so also at that library, I got Silent Wife, a Karen Slaughter novel. So I hadn't been getting audiobooks from the library for a while because I still have ones that I wanted to listen to, including one that I'm listening to right now that I will tell you about when I do my reading updates. But I just decided to see what they have. And when I saw Karen Slaughter, yes, please. And it's read by Kathleen Early, who did I think she does all her audiobooks, who did Pieces of Her. I loved her narration. I loved that book. And I said that I only wanted to start with Karen Slaughter's standalones. But I found this one there, and this is a Will Trent from her Will Trent books. And I decided that I was going to pick it up anyway. Pick it up, and yeah. So we have this one. Cannot wait to listen to that. So that's what I got in Audible. And DVDs at that library. I got, this one is, I think it's covered, but I think it's Tell My Story. Yeah, it's on the side there. It's Tell My Story. That's a documentary about, sadly, suicide, teen suicide, and social media playing into all that, and how much harder it is for teenagers today than it was in our time. And I'm sorry, but it just is. So yeah, documentary. This one is Monsters of Florence. Is a documentary based on a serial killer that I had actually listened to a podcast about in serial killer in Italy, who I believe has never been I don't believe that that the killer was ever found. So looking forward to that, definitely. The next one is actually was it Chinese or Japanese? Chinese. Called The Battle of at Dawn, and it's a series, limited series, and I'm hoping that, like, because I want to try. I think I mentioned I want to try more stuff from like different countries, and I'm specifically kind of gearing towards historical stuff right now because I tried a contemporary Chinese one called, I think, The Jugglers or such, and that one just did not work for me. It was too sort of quirky. Yeah, that one just sort of didn't work for me. I'm hoping that this actually has English subtitles because it doesn't specify that it does. But I'm really kind of hoping. It's a historical, and like the title, it says Battle at Dawn, and the blurb starts 1946. Like that isn't like an actual like the numbers, but the blurb itself is not in English. But I'm hoping that there are English subtitles. If not, well, we'll try something else. Next we have Poltergeist 2 and 3. I remember watching number 1. I have a vague memory of number 3 taking place in some, yeah, like an apartment or like a hotel or some kind of, yeah. I don't remember number 2, but I have a vague memory of number 3. Might do a reaction to this, might just watch it on my own time. We'll see, because your girl's got a lot of stuff she wants to react to. And next is Orphan First Kill. This is the sequel to Orphan. which was a banana sandwich. Fantastic movie. Love that movie with Vera Farmiga. This one is with Julia Stiles, I believe. Yeah, Julia Stiles. Um, yeah, this is the prequel to The Orphan. Yeah, I cannot wait. Cannot wait to watch this. Very, very, very much excited to watch that. And so today I went to the library again, different library, um, because I was gonna stay home sort of this stretch, but I got a call from my bank that they had some stuff that they wanted to go over with me, and that some new sort of services and stuff that I qualified for, and if I wanted to sort of sign up for, and so did that. And then I thought, since I'm out anyway, um, I thought I really wanted to go sort of to the library, but I also wanted to go and sort of sit in a park and read, because I hadn't done that sort of in longer than I wanted, because it had either been raining, or it'd been too hot, or there were other things I wanted to do. Like July was all about like going to the bookstores and stuff and using up my birthday coupons and all that stuff. And so it had been a while since I just sat in a park and read. Um, so I went, I did that, and it was lovely, and I loved it so much that I think I'm even going to do it again for tomorrow and the day after. Um, just because it just made me feel so good. And like I wasn't there for like a long time or anything. It was just sitting outside in the park reading. And it was just nice, and it just reminded me of how much I missed it these past months. Um, so yeah, but first I had gone to the library. I went to the Dufferin and St. Clair Library because I wanted to, see sort of what foreign stuff they had there, and nothing really kind of grabbed me. Like, not the Italian telenovelas were just no, Spanish either, just no, and they didn't have like any like Chinese or Japanese or Turkish or Hindu or like any kind of that. They just primarily had Italian and Spanish, which makes sense because Dufferin and St. Clair is very much little Italy, like very, very much. So I just picked up some stuff. Let me show you the audiobooks that I picked up. I picked up Grace is Gone by Emily Elgar. That's audiobook. And If You Knew Her by Emily Elgar as well. And her plots kind of give me Karen Slaughter vibes, so I'm kind of hoping. But it's performed by Katie Sobey. And If You Knew Her is her first novel. Um, so I'm kind of hoping that I'm going to love her as much as I loved my first Karen Slaughter. So we shall see. And DVD wise, I only picked up a few. In the Heights, which sort of gives me like Rent vibes. A bunch of people living in like a sort of down and out kind of community, and kind of fighting to like make their dreams come true and that kind of stuff. So there's that. Oh, but I did find a Japanese movie. Two movies. but they're like the same sort of in a series. Lady Snowblood, which apparently inspired Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill, which I was not overly. I'm not a big Quentin Tarantino fan, really, really not. Um, his movies just don't work for me. I don't like his style. I don't like sort of him as a person. Kind of like really rubs me the wrong way. Um, yeah, just he just doesn't work for me. But I'm kind of hoping that this will, because it's the same sort of thing. A young woman trained from childhood as an assassin uh, gets vengeance for crimes committed against her family, hacks and slashes her way to gory satisfaction. So, and does have it's Japanese with English subtitles. So it's Lady Snowblood and Lady Snowblood's Love Song of Vengeance. So very much looking forward to that. So yeah, they didn't have like a Japanese sort of or foreign kind of section, but sort of in the like regular movies, they had like one or two sort of like that of like Japanese stuff. The next one is Gucci, which I had not heard about. I did not know that this was a movie. I did not know that this was a movie starring Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga, Jeremy Irons, Adam. Is that Adam Driver? Yeah, Jared Leto. Who's Jared Leto? In is that Jared Leto? In like looking bald and looking like a middle-aged, because the eyes kind of give me Jared Leto vibes. Because okay, I recognize um, Lady Gaga, Adam Driver, Jeremy Irons, Al Pacino, I believe, behind the glasses. So that leaves Jared Leto. So, oh, okay. And I think is that Selma Hayek in there? Yeah, Selma Hayek. Where has this movie been? I had no idea this movie existed. How have I not heard of this movie with like a cast like that? So, yeah, looking forward to that. And they had a few things in their sale rack that I wanted to that I picked up and want to check out. First one is The Outliers by Kimberly McCrate. And it looks like it's a teen fiction. Teen fiction, I didn't guess that. But it's a mystery. And her best friend sends her a text asking for her help, and the best friend has disappeared. And so she is looking for her friend, and she's doing it with a guy who she doesn't necessarily trust, who she fears might even be involved in the disappearance. But yeah, so this one like caught my attention, so I grabbed it. And then there's Rogue Stallion by Diana Palmer with a bonus story by Macy Yates. What's the bonus story? Need Me Cowboy. So, and I love Macy Yates. Yeah, it's a short. So, yeah, that's the Diana Palmer. That's the Macy Yates. So it's like essentially like two Harlequins. Diana Palmer does not always work for me, but I'm always like willing to sort of give her a try. And Macy Yates I love. And I got another I got another manga. They had a manga there. But, as you can see, it's number 2. I don't know if I have to read these in order, but we shall try. We shall try. Yeah, so that's all the sort of stuff that I got. Now for some reading updates. I am currently, let me show you what I've given up on. I DNF'd The Bartender's Secret by Caro Carson. Just because, okay, it's a Harlequin special edition, which those are known for being like a lot more sort of highly emotional than the regular Harlequins, which kind of is why I DNF'd it, because it was taking way too long for one, the heroine and hero to actually meet. Like, she comes into his bar and he sees her often, but they don't have a conversation until I think chapter 5. And I think, like, I'm sorry. It just, you don't have that much long to sort of, like, even with a special edition, you don't have that long to, like, get this romance going. And it just, and then when they sort of, like, do finally talk to each other, it's sort of like around kind of like other people. And it was just too slow. It was just way too slow. So that one did not work for me. Another one that didn't work for me, and I think I'm going to have to say goodbye to Charlotte Vale Allen as a reader for myself. Yeah, I DNF this book. I will go into more detail as to why when I do my wrap-up. But one of the reasons was that it was way too slow. And I'm finding that Charlotte Vale Allen, there's always, at least in the previous book, Night Magic, there's always a point where, because I was enjoying the first half of this book, for the most part, my only gripe was that it was too slow. I mean, she finds out that, pretty much in the beginning, she finds out that her mother is not her mother and she'd actually been kidnapped as a baby. Fine. Then the mother dies, and the the best friend is helping her find, like more information and finding out, like more about like who her real parents are and everything like that. But the first half of this book, in terms of getting answers, was the search for her mother's tax returns. Took up half of this book before we even get to anything remotely resembling actually progress in this search. It felt like the first half of this book was just trying to find the mother's tax returns. And then something happened, as with the previous Charlotte Vale Allen book, Night Magic. Something happened in this book that kind of just went, nope, 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 I'm out, no thank you, goodbye, no. And I DNF'd it. I will go into more detail why I DNF'd it when I do my wrap up, because it, like, I want to read stuff here to show you, and like, yeah, no, nope. Charlotte Vale and Allen and I are breaking up. I'm sorry, no. So those two did not work for me. What I'm reading right now is um, for my Take to Work book is Things We Hide from the Light by Lucy Score. And I was going to start the next book that I have in the Black Dagger Brotherhood series, which is The Beast. Um, because my manager told me that she started the Black Dagger Brotherhood series, and she's reading Dark Lover, and she's absolutely loving it. And just sort of like talking with her about it sort of reignited my desire to finally get to Rage's second book, which is The Beast. Um, so the way that like the series has worked so far is, you have your each book for like one couple, but now as she's like more into the series, she's occasionally revisiting the initial couples. So excuse me. Oh my goodness, I'm talking too much. That's what's happening. So we've already had Wrath and Beth's second book, which was The King, which was amazing, absolutely amazing. And there's the second book, The Beast, which is Rage and Mary's second book, and that's the latest book that I have not read yet. So I was going to read that, but my sister was telling me about this book that she really liked, and if I wanted to read it. So I thought, sure, why not? I don't have any other books on my shelves that I need to read. So I got this one, and I am thoroughly enjoying it so far. It's not sort of a book haul book, so I will read the back blurb for you, but first let me, dear God, take a drink of water. Okay. This is actually the second book in the Knock 'em Out series. The first book is Things We Never Got Over. So, back blurb reads, 2 bullets put a dent in that southern charm, but thankfully, oh, sorry. The blurb actually starts up here. Police Chief Nash Morgan is known for 2 things: being a good guy and the way his uniform accentuates his butt. 2 bullets put a dent in that southern charm, but thankfully spared his spectacular rear end. He's got his hands full with the man who shot him still on the loose, healing wounds, and citizens that think of the law as more of a guideline. Throw in the gloomy mood that clings to him, and the last thing he needs is a smart-mouthed, gorgeous new neighbor making him feel things he doesn't have the energy to feel. Lena Solavita has her reasons for being in town. She's on a mission, and the fewer people that find out about it, the better. She does her best to work alone, and as soon as she finds what she's after, she's hitting the road for the next solo adventure. Too bad the town of Knock 'em Out has other ideas. Soon, Lena finds herself sucked into small town life. Dog sitting, saying yes to a bridesmaid's dress, listening to the sexy AF chief of police service himself in the shower. But when Nash finds out why she's there, flirty friends become furious enemies. Not really. The sparks flying don't know the difference between lust and hate. When danger forces them together, it's only a matter of time before they both get burned. Well, okay, so he hasn't exactly found out why she's there. So maybe they will become enemies, but I hope not, because I am completely enjoying their relationship so far. Again, I am just that much into it, and it's just it's light, and it's like there's serious things about it, because like Nash is definitely dealing with some PTSD from getting shot, but for the most part it's a light sort of read. It's fun, it's witty, without so far teetering on the end of being obnoxious, like a lot of sort of rom-commy books sort of are, which I wouldn't necessarily call this a rom-com per se, but it's got that sort of snappy dialogue, quick quippiness, and that kind of stuff. So it's just enough pulled back from that to make it enjoyable so far. Um, but yeah, I'm quite liking this so far. And I think I believe that I mentioned in my last vlog that I'd given up on Madame Bovary because I couldn't stand her. But I have made it into Wuthering Heights, Emily Bronte. I mentioned that that was going to be my next classic, and I've started it, and I'm enjoying it so far. It is sort of the nanny slash housekeeper, kind of telling this guest about sort of the history of the house, the history of Heathcliff and Cathy, and that. But it's like you are actually immersed in, like, it sort of like flashes back and flashes forward, or flashes back like sort of to the present, and then it kind of flashes back, and you're in with like Cathy and Heathcliff, and that story. It is a bit confusing when it flashes to the present again, because it doesn't clarify immediately that, okay, you're in the present now again. And you have to like read a bit before you can find a kind of figure like, oh, okay, oh, we're back here again. And then like it goes back to the back to the past. And the only reason that I sort of know that it's kind of in the past is because Cathy is there. Which, I'm not going to spoil it, but, you know. Uh, so, it is a touch hard to sort of navigate a little bit, but sort of when you're in the moment, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. It's not hard to understand for the most part. It's that same sort of, like classic sort of way of literature, and that sort of classic voice and the classic verbiage, and of like Jane Eyre and like Ruth, and which are two of my favorites. If I'm hoping that Wuthering Heights will be number 3. I'm hoping. But yeah, so far, Heathcliff and Cathy. If you don't know, Heathcliff, or Cathy's dad, ends up bringing this kid home from that he finds, and the kid is like very much poor, and he and Cathy become friends, childhood friends, and the bond as they grow just becomes stronger, and then they meet these neighbors, the Littletons, Lindens, Linton, and the son there falls in love with Cathy, and he is of her society and of her level, as of which Heathcliff most definitely is not. And so Cathy is sort of like, I love Heathcliff, and he's like my soulmate and everything. But money, though. But societal expectations, though. But your girl's not made to be poor. So, she... The one thing that I didn't like was that they didn't show when she actually got married to him, the dude. Like something there's a scene with the Kathy's brother, who's a piece of shit. Hindley? Headley? Kathy's brother, who's a piece of shit, who treats Heathcliff awfully, and he ends up getting married and having a child, but the mother of the child dies, and like he has the son. Um, and there's this confrontation where the brother is like freaking drunk and nearly kills the baby, but Heathcliff ends up saving the baby. So like there's just this whole confrontation that happens, and then Heathcliff leaves, and he's gone off to go, and we find out later it's to make himself a better man of society and blah blah blah. So Heathcliff has just come back, and he's looking for Kathy, not knowing Kathy is now Mrs. Linton. Goodness, words. So he don't know that yet. I believe he's gonna find out because I remember the movie. And I remember that Linton has a sister, and something's gonna happen there. But yeah, I'm quite enjoying it so far. Planning to read a bit more of it today. And I'm planning to watch this classic movie, A Carnival of Souls, a classic horror movie. I mean, she looks appropriately horrified. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to be watching today and reading. Gonna clean up around here, and I've got I'm gonna make some rice and some calamari. I've got some breaded calamari, and then I'm gonna stick in the oven, and I'm gonna have that with some rice. So I think that's gonna be it for this vlog. This stretch, I'm planning to do my book wrap up and my book haul. So book wrap up for tomorrow and book haul for Friday. And we have Monday as a holiday because it's Labor Day. So I will be off work. And I'm debating, I think, because pretty much everything's going to be closed. So I'm thinking maybe that'll be my stay-at-home day. And I'll do maybe my reaction for episode 57 of Hershey's Chocolate Kisses, the Turkish drama that I'm reacting to. Yeah, not the name of the show. I cannot pronounce the name of the show because I'm an ignorant Canadian girl. But it's Hercai, and it's episode 57. I think that's what I'm going to do, that reaction. But, yeah. So, yep, that's going to be it for this week's video. If you've read any of these books or watched any of this stuff, I'd love to know what I should watch first or what I should read first. And follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/authorejamie. Like my Facebook page at facebook.com/authorejamie. A huge thank you to everybody who has bought a copy of a book in my Blood Vow series, my Mafia romance series. I've gotten a really nice bump in sales this month, which I am so very grateful for. Yeah, so thank you so much to anybody who has picked up either a copy of The Vendetta, The Betrayal, The Secret, or The Choice. Those 4 books in my Blood Vow series. Thank you very much, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye!